What's going on, guys? Kivox and Meekachii here. We are doing our April to wrap up.
To wrap up.
I didn't say TBR, but you know how I am. You know I mess everything up all the time. I apologize. But I think this is our first video up here. No, it's our second video up here. I'm super excited still about being here.
Hated downstairs.
I hated it. I hated it with a passion. But I forgot what I was going to say. We have our little boards that we fill out every month. I read less this month, but I read a 28-hour book. That's what they're called, right?
Did they make that book in physical format?
I don't know, but it was freaking long and took a lot longer to finish than I thought it was. You read quite a bit. 4? 5.
Okay.
5.
2
Pretty
books
good.
I was 50% of the way through already.
Dude, why do you take away your own credit?
I mean, I read them at some point.
Please stop. You're like, oh, I'm actually not. I didn't do that good. Even
No,
though
it's fine. I mean, I read the other 50%.
I'm over here saying hey, I actually did pretty good, even though I didn't. I'm trying to boost myself up, and you're over here
I suck.
Woe is me. Feel bad for me. Oh yeah. So these are our rating boards. These they called my rating boards. And we print out the little stickers at the book covers, and we stick them on where they're rated. That's a 1. That's a don't.
Did not finish. Dumping.
Dave's Natural Flakes.
Crispy, flaky crust. Down. Dead.
There's 2 D's now?
I'm
Are you just saying different D words? Dave's Natural Flakes. I like it.
All right, whatever.
Did I say Dan's Natural Flakes the first
remember.
time? But anyway, these are where the flaky books go, and the ones we don't finish. Wow, look, I had a 1 and a 2.
What did I have?
Memories. Hey, save yours for later. But anyway, yeah, these are also available on our Etsy page if you guys are interested in getting one. We plan on making a new one for next year as well. Maybe it'll change up a little bit. But anyway, who would like to start? Not it.
We could start with
Crispy Fakey Crust?
Fakey?
Crispy Fakey Crust?
Oh no, you have to go get this book. I was gonna start with the book club book.
I'm gonna have my poop on coffee.
I was trying to say Mulan and Pocahontas, and I had called Pocahontas Poopahantas by accident.
But here's the thing.
That's Snow White.
There's other princesses on here. I don't know who that is. Oh, that long-haired one. The one with the hair.
Tangled.
Tangled, yeah, that's her name.
I don't remember her name.
T for Tangled.
So, this was our book club pick for April. Wow.
Good job,
Wow.
Kivox.
And you read this before.
Yeah.
And I think everyone liked it. Some people. So this book does broach some very difficult topics, and I feel like some people just couldn't get past that the main character does really effed up things in his background, like his past.
That's where I located it.
You know.
I popped it right on the that star right there. It's not focusing, hey? Oh, it is. Okay, so yeah, I gave it a star, dude. I really liked it. I hope you liked it.
So I can understand why people may have issues with this character and aren't able to give it a good rating. However, I personally feel that because the messed up things that this character did in his past, he had regrets, and he recognized that he was bad in his past, makes it not that bad. Maybe I'm just a mean person. I don't know. I liked this book a lot. We have a whole spoiler-filled live stream if you want to know our in-depth thoughts, but it's absolutely spoiler-filled, so don't watch it if you haven't read it. But I really liked it. This is a YouTuber, right? That wrote this?
Yeah, Shad Brooks. He's dope.
And I want more.
It's funny because I liked him before, and I don't watch every single one of his videos, but randomly I'll see one pop up. I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. And then one of them was like him talking about books, and I was like, oh, he likes books too. And then he started talking about his book that he wrote and like the science behind the magic system and stuff. And I was like, interesting. And then a friend was like, dude, you should read this book. And I was like, that's by what's his face? That's by Shad, yeah. And also his name is Shad. It was maybe it's a common Australian name, but to me, I was like, is it Chad?
I know, I never heard it.
Is it Shed?
So, I don't really want to tell you guys much about this book, but
you can't tell me.
It is a fantasy book, and it's about an old grumpy dude, which I love. They're like my favorite type of characters who did a lot of messed up things in his past and kind of him moving forward.
Like messed up, like think of like some of the worst things that you could think of.
Yeah. He was a bad person. And that's all I'm really going to say. I really like this book. If you want a very character-driven fantasy story and you like that type of thing, I think you'll like it.
Look at the difference in how many books we've read. I've read so many more, you see?
Oh, yeah.
But you also haven't had any stars. I wonder if you'll have one today. But look how evenly spread out this is. You got a good spread, dude. I only read mostly good books.
Oh, what do you think I'm going to rate it? In the live stream, I was toying between
4.5,
a 4.5 and a 5.
Okay. I thought you were going to give it a 4.5 based on the way you've acted. I don't know. I still don't know. I'm hoping it's a 5. I'm hoping it's a 5. What is it? I can't tell. Where'd you put it?
A 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you would murder me if I left it there.
But these shouldn't be here. Yeah,
no, those are great. I don't care what you say.
Not as good though.
No.
Not as good as the 2 books, the books
so,
that I recommended. Did I read this before you did?
No.
But I recommended this.
I recommended it to you.
No.
It was in the wrapped books.
It was
who
wrapped the wrapped books?
Time out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks everybody else.
The only things that are keeping this from being a star for me are the fact that I want to know certain things that they never explain, and I know that you don't find it a problem, and you never even thought of it, but it just bugged me a little bit. I can't really go into details, so never mind.
No, you can't.
There's a little tidbits that bugged me.
Tidbits.
But I really overall liked it a lot. So there's that, and then I wanted to quickly talk about this month's book club book, which is A Deadly Education. So I feel like...
Have you started it?
No.
Didn't
T already finished it.
Right? What's up, T?
But anyway, I feel like everyone's heard about this book at this point. I'm not going to talk about the synopsis. It is... What day is the book club? May 30th?
I don't know, but have you guys ever put butter in your coffee?
It's disgusting.
Have you ever tasted it, Meek?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to say yes,
That's
so you never make me taste it.
That is a negative. She has not. And it is quite good.
So, May 30th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anyone can join. We're going to do a live stream at that time, and then you can pop on and let us know what you feel about this book if you read it. Next book was my jar book.
Why don't you put the gosh darn books on the table? My
jar book was Sword of Destiny. This is the second book in the Witcher series. It's the second short story book. It's funny because I had previously read the first half of it and then I stopped for some reason and just never picked it back up.
Uh-oh. Did you hear that?
There's a kitty.
We have a problem.
Boop, boop. Come here.
You should just throw her off the second floor.
Come here.
Just like, she's a cat. She'll land on her feet, right?
She's kind of broken.
I know. She would fall. She would die if she jumped off the bed. Or off your lap. So every time she jumps off the bed or the lap, I'm like, oh no, she's gonna explode. Her legs are gonna fly off.
You poor baby. Okay, so I put this book down for some reason, which I don't know why, because I was enjoying it. But I'm kind of glad because we watched the show, and the second part of this book really is when you start getting introduced to like the characters from the show, like the main characters. He finally starts talking about them. And this book made me almost cry twice at the end. I was like, what the heck? Like, I did not expect to almost cry from a Witcher book. And
why?
I don't know. I just didn't expect
There's
it. There's
so much suffering.
But like the way that the first book was all written and the way that the first half of this book was written, I just didn't expect that level of emotion to come out of me. And then I was just sitting there and I got like freaking devastated from one of the parts. And I thought about it all day, and then another part happens later, and I'm like, what the heck? And it gave me all the feels. I really loved it. And I immediately bought Blood of Elves. I haven't read it yet.
It just came in yesterday.
Yeah. I got one, but it was damaged, so I got a new one.
I know, but that's something that they didn't need to know about. So I figured I'd just say it just came in yesterday.
But I want to just...
Dude, wait. Did you hear that now? Is there a ghost in here? Is there a monster? Is it a kraken? Or is it just your stomach?
My tummy.
Just came in yesterday.
But let me know if you liked this one. I'm really excited to get into Blood of Elves because it's the first novel, like full-length novel, not being a short story.
Do you know the order that they were written in? Was it the order that you're reading?
What's weird is if you look on the back of these, which these are kind of newer prints.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No, I don't want spit on me.
These are kind of newer prints. It has Sword of Destiny, like, all the way down here. Like, I don't know if this is the order they recommend you read them in, but this is called, like, 0.7 on Goodreads. Like, like the Witcher series 0.7, so, like, before book 1. And I don't know what the first book is, whatever. But anyway, I want to continue this. I really loved it. Board.
Yours over there, man.
Hoodies.
Paris.
I love you.
You're gonna give it a 5.
Drooled all over me.
Dang, son. You gave it a 5, bro.
I want to continue. I have so much to read this month, so I'm trying to get through it so I can continue it.
That's pretty impressive, because I did like all of the other books that you gave 5s to. But 4.5 is like you can't give anything that I like a 4.5. I want it to either be a 4 or a 5.
Why?
Because I don't want it to sit on your board next to these terrible love stories.
Do you want to talk about one of your
books?
books?
You know what? How about this? Next year, we'll make you one, like a little one. Just
for romance?
And it'll just have 1. It'll just be the number 1. And it'll just be for romance books.
Get out.
How about that?
No.
That's a good idea.
Ew, you're so
I'll make you a little
gross.
foldy one. It'll be just like one long strip. It'll have 2 1s. It'll have a 0.5 and a 1. Okay, my book that I
couldn't find this book.
Why is that on the table? Ew. That's what you get right there. Yeah. I went to reach for it's dripping on the front of the table. No.
In case you guys didn't know, when Osmond gets really lovey, she drools a lot.
That was so gross. It got on my hand.
You're so lovely.
I like smeared my hand into it like this. Ugh.
Gross. I love you, but you're disgusting.
So at the beginning, I actually started this the previous month, and then I finished it, but I was like halfway done or something like that at the beginning of this past month. And that is...
why aren't you giving yourself credit? Why do people have to know
that? That is The Toll
by
Neil Shusterman.
So...
I read it. Why can't I talk about it? What is this?
I'm doing a video soon, like a organization video, and I can't find this book, which is why we don't have the physical copy.
Here it is. This is the one I read, the little physical, the little baby book. I had to use a magnifying glass and stuff, and I actually just used the audiobook, so I didn't even have to read it. But anyway, I read the other 2 like
years ago,
and then we just put this off forever. You read it last year. Wasn't it one of the wrapped books? No, it was a jar book. It was a sequel jar book. Because your jar books, last year your jar books were sequels.
Yep.
And then this year your jar books were every book. I didn't like it at first. The beginning of it, I felt like
I feel like that's your own fault because you don't remember what was happening.
Yes. Ugh. That is partially my fault. I loved the ending. Not to spoil anything, it was unexpected to me. It took a good twist. Not in the direction that I thought it was going to go, which is interesting because the whole book just kind of, until that point, it just seemed like, oh, it's going to go toward this thing. It's going to be the obvious thing. And then it wasn't. So, maybe that'll spoil things for you when you go to read it. But I don't know if I liked it more than the other ones, but I think the ending definitely helped. But again, it's kind of like, I went in, I didn't remember every little thing that happened. I was confused about some of the characters at some points. So it's kind of like a weird rating, but enjoying the book-wise with the amount that I remembered.
3.5.
No, that's too low. I enjoyed the end a lot. It bumped it up to a 4.
All right.
The Toll got a 4.
I think I gave it the same thing, or close.
I need to read some shorter books so I can actually like
This one.
get some more numbers in my repertoire of books this year.
Read some comics.
Ah.
Or manga.
Can I read those in audio format?
No.
Then that's not happening.
Speaking of, I read an enormous manga.
Well, it's that. I feel like that should count as like 5.
It is a what do they call them? Like an omnibus. Of. It's hard though because I don't know. So this is Tomie by Junji Ito. I don't know how these originally came out. I love these big editions that give you everything in one, but it doesn't even tell you how many short stories, but there's 742 pages.
You also read it backwards. So if you pick this up, just you start from the back of the book.
Yeah.
Not a joke.
I feel like everyone knows manga you read backwards now.
I don't know.
So, Tomie is about this succubus type chick. I call her a succubus. I don't really know what she is. They never come out and say it.
She's some sort of malicious, spirity type of entity.
So her thing is...
Am I correct?
She's not a spirit, no.
Entity. Spirit-like entity. Does she ever teleport?
No.
Does she ever... Is she a human? Is she a demon? Because I feel like demons...
I feel like she could be a demon.
I feel like demons and spirits are very similar. It's just like...
They never come out and call her any of that. They don't call her anything. Basically, she's... I originally going into this thought that this was one continuing story, but it's really not. So...
Really?
What made me confused... Because I guess Junji, when he put all of these out, like, they came out in small increments initially. And the first few chapters or short stories or whatever do have one character that you see multiple times. So I thought it was going to be one continuing thing. And then it goes into, like, Tomie and her interacting with just random people and situations and having her, like, F up people's lives. So essentially, I think of her as kind of like a demon, and she almost compels you to kill her. And then when you do kill her, she, like, replicates. And she comes back to life, and she can replicate and whatever. She's a little bit more of a deeper character than that, but it's really interesting. I like the artwork, too. It's a horror manga, if you don't know.
I got goosebumps. Like, flipping through that, man. That was not fun. That was scary.
It was pretty creepy. I never got, like, scared, per se, but it was definitely creepy and kind of just, like, made you feel uneasy at times. I really enjoyed it. I wish they would come out with, like, an anime of it. They have... I
think it would make a very good movie series or TV show.
So they did come out, I think, with a Tomie movie in Japan.
Here's the thing, though. Like,
no
offense to Japan, okay? But whenever they come out with anime movies and comic movies, they are super low budget. Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist. Death Note. Like, all great series, but the movies are just like...
Cringy.
Like, was this like a YouTuber that made this? You know what I mean? With, like, really low budget? First of all, also, just a side note here. Attack on Titan, they're not all supposed to be Asian. Okay? Just saying. They're like...
One person is.
One person, and that's the special person, or a special person.
Yeah. Right?
And I think if they ever make a movie, like a legit movie, like a Hollywood movie...
They're supposed to be, like, German or something.
Yeah, well, Jaeger is a very, German... I'm pretty sure it's a German name.
Anyway, I believe there is an anime, like, short series, if I remember. I have to Google this, but basically there's an anime something or other of a bunch of Junji Ito's works, and there's, like, a section of it that's Tomie, but it's only like one of the short stories. But essentially, only a few of these interconnect. Then you have like a bunch of short stories about her messing with people and causing havoc, and it's pretty interesting. I have 2 other omnibus type deals of his that I want to get to, and I'm interested because people say that this isn't even their favorite, and I really enjoyed it. So,
it's over here.
what do I give this?
Well, what did you compare it to the other things in enjoyment and how much you liked it?
Maybe this.
I'm not going to read it now. You gave it a 4.5.
I liked it a lot. It's different. It's weird. You have to go into it knowing that it's very strange and horror, and Japanese horror is a little bit different than if you grew up in like the US. Like what they, I don't know. It is different. But
I feel like it's more psychological as opposed to like our slasher type movies that we have here that are terrible and not scary at all. They're only scary to little kids because like their kids are scared of everything. I was scared of the dark.
He's such a nice guy. I've watched like a few interviews of him since reading this, and like man, he's such a nice dude. I just want to read all of his stuff now. So then, do you want to talk about?
Nope.
All right. My wrapped book.
You know you can see those books, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Was Sabriel. I still have a bookmark.
Sabriel.
Sabriel,
Lily.
This has a lot of books in this series. I don't think I'm gonna continue. It's written very old school fantasy, so it's very like descriptive. I found the story to be okay. I just kind of felt all right reading it, like enough to where I wanted to know what was going to happen, but I wish it was written in a more modern way. Which, I mean, this book was written a long time ago, so I can't really fault it for that, but it's not my normal go-to type of reading style. And the audiobook, I freaking hated. Like, it sounded so old. I mean, I think it's like, what, we calculated like 17 years old or something.
It's not very old.
But it just sounds so old, and it's Tim Curry. I don't know if you know Tim Curry, but his voice is fine, and he did a fine job. It just sounded so ancient, and it just made me bored. So I kind of read it and listened to the audiobook, but in order for me to finish it on time, I had to listen to the audiobook, which may have killed the experience for me a bit. It sounds really cool. She's basically like someone that helps. She can either bring people back to life, or she can help them like into the journey of death and like help them like stop being like a what's the term I'm looking for?
In limbo.
Yeah, but what's that called? Purgatory.
Oh.
Type of deal. So it was interesting, and I feel like if it was written more modern, I would like it better.
So is she a ghost or a demon?
No.
Then how does she have powers like that?
Because it's a magical world.
I
feel like I would like a show much better than a book series based on this.
So it's like not good enough to be a book.
I don't want to continue. I don't think it's not that it was bad. It's just not my writing style, and it's not really my
cup of tea.
The story was fine though. Like I would totally watch a story like that if it was just, I don't know, reading it just took a lot out of me. I don't know how else to say it.
Oh, I forgot that you had. I honestly forgot.
I feel
this
like
was no
I'm gonna
joke.
give it a 3.
Tree. Look at how balanced your ratings are. Look at that. I'm surprised at how many 5s and 4s, 4.5s you got. But no stars.
Not yet.
Huh. Curiouser.
Stars have to like blow my mind. I don't know, and just make me feel all the feels, and just have to like. I'm very picky with my stars.
So I read, He Who Fights Monsters.
The author's name is so strange. I don't remember what it is.
It can't focus that close.
What?
Shirtalum.
Yeah, something like
That's like if you take pants and a shirt and combine them together. You know, pantaloons and shirt. Shirtaloon. That's a good name. I like it.
So what's it about? It's a It's not JRPG. It is like an RPG though.
It's a ARPG because the main character is Australian and Japanese.
Is he?
Yeah, like his mother is Japanese and his father's Australian and he comes from Australia. He wakes up in this other world. Classic what is it called?
It's a lit RPG.
Lit RPG, yes. In that way, you know, he has his user interface that he can access. And the magic system is very interesting. There is not a lot of character development, so I don't think you would really like it. You learn more about the character, but it's more of a world building type thing. I feel like you learn more about the world. The character doesn't really change. He becomes better at being his character, but he doesn't change or really learn in any way. So therefore, that's what I see as a character development, right? He changes in some way, or he becomes
doesn't develop as a character.
He does not develop as a character. He develops as a he levels up as a character type thing, but
not his personality.
The world is very interesting. The ending of the book was kind of weird, where like I felt like it shouldn't have ended there.
Is there a sequel?
Yeah, 100%. This I think even says like book 1 on it or something. But it was like one of those things. It was just like this was chapter 1, and it was the audiobook was 28 hours long. It was a long book, very long book. It's the longest book I've read this year so far, and I don't think it's for everyone. I think that...
I know, you told me not to read it.
Yeah, I don't think you would like it.
Because, like, I like lit RPGs, but they have to have, like, strong characters for me. And since you're explaining it like that, I probably wouldn't like it that much.
I don't think you would. So I'm going to give it a... It's tough because, like, lit RPGs I always like more. I like the magic systems and that type of thing. I think the magic system was very unique in this and the way it works. There are, like, these essences that you can get and acquire, and depending on the combinations, you can have up to 3, I believe, and depending on the combination that you combine, you'll get a 4th, and each of them gives you abilities, right, that have to do with different things, and some can, like, and it's not guaranteed. It's like a gamble. Like, if you, let's say, I'm just making this up, I don't think that this is the actual thing, but let's say you have, like, earth and fire, you may get, like, magma. You know what I mean? So it's and then each of them will have different abilities that can evolve from each of those. This is just a rough explanation of it. It's not 100% correct, but that's just kind of like an idea of how the system works. And yeah, there's a little bit more to it, but I'm going to give it a 4.
I thought you were going to give it a 3.5.
The camera died, but we are going to redo our last book because we only have one book left, I think. Right?
Yeah.
That's the order you did it in?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we got your last book.
Which everyone knows about. I already talked about this, but, you didn't hear it. I talked to myself.
You also explained the whole court thing. Because I asked you a bunch of questions about the court.
Yeah, they're all basically a court of something in this series.
Yeah.
There's technically 3 books before this one, then a novella that everyone hates, so no one talks about it. Nice. It's terrible. And then there's this one.
It's like Cursed Child.
Basically. This is not my favorite character. Nessa was not one of my favorite characters in the original series, and I just don't love her as a character. I thought the romance was lacking. I like more tension and, like, just kind of, like, build up. Like, I felt like there wasn't enough tension. Like, she was a tense character and was cranky and stuff, but, like, not even cranky. She was just downright mean. And I don't know.
Kind of like somebody I know.
Yeah. You. So, But I felt like the romance needed more tension, and like by the end, like by the time it finally happened, you were supposed to be like, ah, finally. And then I just didn't get that feeling. I liked the overall story. I just like this series. I like pretty much all of Sarah J. Maas's stuff. You can hate me for it all you want, but I enjoy them. I liked the story as a whole, but her as a character just brought it down, and their romance just didn't hit the mark for me. So that's about it. I already stuck it on there because our camera died, and so I gave it a 3.5 out of
3.5.
5. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I'm hoping the next one's better. I think that's probably the lowest I've rated one of her books in a long time.
So, thank you guys for watching. If you guys disagree with any of us, either of us, let us know down below, and I would be happy to tell you you're wrong, but I probably won't. I'll just think it. And also, if you have any suggestions for any lit RPGs or lit RPG-esque books, leave them down there, because I am always looking for a new one. And if you have any suggestions for any romance books, shut up. That's a joke I did last time, and I redid it this time, and I thought it was still pretty funny.
And then I wanted suggestions for book-related videos that you guys like to watch. I'm curious to see what you guys like to watch. I know what I like to watch, but let me know.
We're reorganizing one of our rooms. We put some bookshelves in there. We moved some bookshelves from here to there, from this room to the other room. And we're reorganizing that shelf. So there's probably going to be a video about that some point in the future. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. It should be fun. Maybe. And also, if you guys want to support the channel, we are going to be doing the membership on YouTube that you guys could join if you want. And then also the Patreon is still up as well. Patreon gives you access to Discord and all the extra book stuff you get on there. So either way, it helps us out if you want to. If you don't want to, then just leave a comment, like the video, if you want to help us out that way.
What?
Say bye, Meek.
She said bye. Look at her.
Okay.
Bye, Meek.
Bye.